Man, I love game development. So full of beautiful fun that includes a totally stress-free process in which everything works just right the first time you try it. Who wouldn't like to participate in this totally fun activity? Am I right? So, I've been working on a game that is definitely not inspired by the well-known Lethal Company, and does totally not include things like room generation, random ass mutants, voice chat, scary gameplay. Okay, it might be a Lethal Company clone, but I don't really like using that word, so let's just call it a well thought out, original creative endeavor that just happens to share some similarities. But don't worry, it isn't just a cheap copy. I do have some revolutionary ideas of my own, like guns. So yeah, I'm making Lethal Company with guns, and it's 2D, because I'm a dumbass. I started this project a couple weeks ago, not planning on making anything special, and just wanted to make a top-down horror style game. Like usual, the idea and scope for the game expanded very quickly, and I suddenly got very inspired by Lethal Company for many features. So I thought, why not make it? It might be fun, right? In the first week, the scope was still small and I wasn't exactly invested in the project, so the only things I made was a simple player movement and the basis for networking for the multiplayer, as well as some lighting, which is a big part of the vibe my game is going for. After the first week, I sort of got really sick, so let's just skip to week 3 and 4. Now these were weeks that included tons of progress. I first worked on an inventory system which I made to be very simple and dynamic. The inventory system has 4 slots that pin items to the left, so if you drop the first item, all the other ones shift left. After dealing with that, I started working on the more Lethal Company-like systems, which was room generation and the computer console. Computer console was easy enough to make, though I still needed to make far better assets for it, because right now it looks like it was drawn in MS Paint. Room generation was a whole other story. I had never done room generation to this point, and there are a few ways of making it work. A grid-based system that makes generation efficient and easy to control, or instantiating prefabs randomly and hoping for the best. So of course, I went with the dumbest option. So this decision led to a couple days of pure suffering, the biggest issue being detecting when one room spawned on top of another. Here you can see me showing off how well the room generation works to a friend of mine. And over here, if I click this do spawn button, it should all generate very nicely. Wow. You see,
As a mathematician, spawning nothing, the set of nothing is still spawning something. So I applaud you.
At first, I thought I'd just use a trigger box collider to detect overlaps. Turns out, when you instantiate an object on top of another, the collider does not trigger. So I spent a serious amount of time researching on how to make this work with detecting collisions. And I managed to figure out that by me coding a simple collision system myself, it could detect collisions even when spawned on top of another object. Now when rooms collide, they get deleted and replaced with walls, instead of having some cursed overlapping nonsense. It's time to move on to the arguably most fun feature. Guns. This game needs to have a special relationship with guns. I don't want players thinking of them as an easy way to get out of every problem. That would ruin the horror and unpredictability. So I made some decisions. First of all, friendly fire is on, because that's always a great idea. Ammo is scarce and guns aren't cheap. And the guns have very high recoil and unpredictable behavior. So I ended up creating quite a modular gun system, so I can add new weapons without breaking everything. And here's the prototype shooting in action. Now with guns done, I wrapped up things for the week and continued off editing this video and organizing the future of the game. Thank you very much for watching the first devlog of this game, and if you enjoyed, remember to smash like and subscribe, as well as join my Discord. And I'll see you in the next one.